What is Milyana Business Group?
The vision for the Milyana Group is that we become a one-stop store. In labor contracts, most 90% of business owners mention something named as training fees. The aspects what are mentioned in the offer letter. If you want, I can name some examples like Nokia or BlackBerry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the podcast Beyond Litigate. And actually, in all true sense, we are going to be going beyond litigate. Why? Because our advocate Rihan has established a new firm called Milyana Group. Now, what does Milyana do? Why have they drifted from Al Nasser and started a new firm? What is Al Nasser going to do? So let's talk about all of these questions. Why, what, when of this new business, and let's hear it from the man himself, Advocate Rihan Raheem. Hi, Rihan. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for the setup and the invite. And it's a fantastic past months over there,
Yes.
and it is overwhelming actually.
I'm glad. We're sitting together and discussing.
Yeah.
So now let's get to the point. I want to know what is Milyana Business Group and why have you established this firm?
The main reason is people think if they proceed with certain level of structure within a business, it would help them in the long run because they are not the ones who are violating any of the regulations laid down by the government. But that's not true. This is the exact reason why many entrepreneurs who start up or build a business in the UAE, being one of the best locations in the world to start a business, fails or struggles in the initial phases or on the long run. Why? It's not because of their ideas being weak, but it is because the foundation of that business is not strong. Hence, Milyana was found so that we can take care of the foundation for those businesses and help the entrepreneurs strike off with their business ideas, not focusing on the foundation works. Now, what does this foundation means? This means the compliance, regulatory, the corporate governance, the HR related issues, the VAT and taxation matters, etc. All the documentation part taken care of in a rigid and structural manner with following the regulations laid down by the government. This will protect the company and help them prevent 90% of any legal risks or disputes which may come against them in the future from their own laborers or employees or from a third party with whom they are dealing with. Hence,
So, at what stage of the business should someone get in touch with you? Perhaps when they're planning the business? It's at that point or when they have established it?
now this is a tricky question. Why? Because unless an entrepreneur has planned or started up a business, they won't be able to figure out what kind of budget they have to allocate for such a consultancy. This is one of the main concerns of most entrepreneurs. But our advice would be to get in touch with any of the consultancy or us so that we can advise them which location would be more suitable for them. For example, if it's an oil based industry they're starting off for, they would most probably be focusing in Abu Dhabi or Dubai. Whereas Abu Dhabi is good, you get a good subsidy from the government, but then the port issues for the import and export or the logistical issues and those reasons will carry down the business after they set up the business. Hence, they could also focus in Al Quwain. Why? Because Al Quwain is much accessible to the ports. So this helps them in the long run. So all such kind of advices can only be given to those entrepreneurs if they come to us before they set up their business. All they should have are the business ideas, and once they share the ideas with us, we will let them know which are the perfect locations for them so that they can thrive with their business. Or else, once they set up, the foundation is laid out and then you cannot change the location again. Why? Because of the huge investments they put
You've
into
already
the
made,
business.
yeah.
Yes. So now the next part is to ensure that the documentation part is strong so that they can figure out how to expand their business. At the same time, we be there to protect them and help them resolve any issues before it reaches the court. Now, these are also the second stage. The primary stage would be to ensure that the documentation and the governance part are fulfilled in a proper manner. Now, the specialty for Milyana is that it's like an umbrella. You get everything under it. Why? Because me being a practicing legal advisor at El Nassar, we take care of the litigation requirements and then we cover it like a dome above the company. And inside the company, we do provide them with the management consultancy, that is the HR, labor, corporate governance, or documentation, contracts, everything. And at the same time, we have a different wing for auditing and accounts. So accounts and bookkeeping, we take care. The corporate documents part, we take care, and then we protect them with the shell, that is Al Nassar. So this provides them with an
A
all-in-one
360-degree solution altogether.
Exactly. So
Nice.
until now, as per my knowledge, there are no businesses that provides any of the entrepreneurs or any of the other corporate clients with such a solution,
Yeah,
giving them an all-round
correct.
access. Now, how will this help the companies? It will help them to not pay overheads for such each department separately. This is the idea, and this is what we are planning to achieve. We have already started off, and the business is doing good.
Amazing, amazing. So happy to hear that. Now, Rihan, in today's date, and even as per data, a lot of companies are not compliant with the UAE government policies. Why do you think it happens? Is it because people don't know or people take it lightly?
Two things. One, awareness. They are not aware because earlier, when the new regulations came up, we will say, for example, with regards to the FTA, VAT, and the corporate tax. So for VAT, people were like, okay, if they come, then we will show them something, or else we'll get enough leniency or time period to figure out what we have to reply them. But this comes only once in a while. It's not like an ongoing process. So earlier, the government was more lenient. Why? So that the business can adapt to the new structure. Now that time has passed. The clients or the companies or businesses cannot be like, okay, we'll deal with it later. No, the time has passed. The boat has sailed. Now's the time. So now, if you are caught up with anything, then comes the regulatory works, that is the penalties and stuff. Hence, the people who used to run the business, they are not aware of the severity of the situation they're putting themselves and the companies in. Once they are aware, it's too late for them to do anything. That is the situation at the moment. Now, with regards to compliant, many people think that if I have, say, for example, I'm a SME business, I have few employees in my company, and if I have the documentation part, that is the offer letter, labor contract, and the NDA signed from the employee, I'm free of all the future risks, and I have been compliant in my business. But the issue is, a mere document does not mean that your business is compliant with the regulations. Why? Because it is the content or the structure, the timeline, the reporting that the company does towards the government. It should be a two-way street. We should reciprocate back to the government will reciprocate back to us. So the government is not our enemy, they are our friend. The business should be the government's friend. So only then the company can expand themselves and reach beyond, just like our name. So in order to ensure this happens, they should understand that the documentation part must be precise. It must be what actually is stated in the regulations. It must be what actually benefits the company, rather than have something in a paper which will backfire on them at the time of legal proceedings. So these are the main two reasons. One, the lack of awareness. Two, the overconfidence that they have that their invoices or whatever it is are perfect and in lieu of the compliance.
Amazing, amazing. I completely understand because I think when people start businesses, they don't do a lot of research.
True.
And again, because it is difficult, because to be honest, UAE government is coming up with new rules and regulations, of course, in the interest of the general public. But sometimes it's like there are too many things to look into, so they often get ignored. So it is always best to actually consult a company that actually knows the in and outs, and that can help you. Let us also try and understand HR management has become a very complex thing in today's date, especially with the amount of hiring and firing that's going on. People are going, poaching clients from, from ex-employees of some companies. There are indeed issues with labor contracts and offer letters. And so, of course, added on to that is ChatGPT, which is the new business consultant in town, who's giving in all sorts of information that, okay, build this, write this, and so. What do you think is, the biggest gap in the HR industry right now?
As I mentioned earlier, the overconfidence of the entrepreneurs. Their ideas are strong. They may have something like a jackpot. But then the issue is because of their oversight or the confidence that they have in themselves, they fail to recognize the requirements or needs that has to be fulfilled within the employees. Now, HR, one of the, in order to make it more clear or to raise the clarity, for example, an employee, if I take him on as a part of the team, I will give him two things. One is the offer letter. The second one will be the labor contract at the time of issuing a visa. Labor contract will not have the aspects what are mentioned in the offer letter. Why? Because of the template limitations that we have. Now, at the time of dispute, which document do we actually rely on? Is it the offer letter or the labor contract? When we say the labor contract, it means that it supersedes the offer letter.
Correct.
But when it supersedes, the opposite party, that is the employee, will argue back or defend themselves, stating they only joined the company because of the offer letter, meaning these were overpromised. Now, how does the owner defend himself at that point of dispute? He can't. So this is where Milyana comes in. This is the gap that we want to fulfill or we want to fill in with, so that these kind of small errors made by the business owners does not cost them a huge lump sum amount as part of penalty or compensation in the future at the time of dispute. Now, to give you one more example, in labor contracts, most 90% of business owners mention something named as training fees. In case the employee resigns the company within 1 year, they are to repay back training fees of such and such amount back to the business owners. Fair, right? But many of the companies or the business owners face this litigation risk that once the employee submits his resignation after 6 months, the employer would be like, okay, we'll see you in court. Confidence again. They fail to, get a consultation with any of the expert. Once the things reaches to court, the only question the judge might ask is, you provided training? Yes. How was it beneficial for the employee? Now, if it's a restaurant, the employer would be like, I taught him how to clean the table, how to serve the dish, how to do the setup for the entire thing.
Correct.
But then the issue is, the judge's response would be that the training that was provided would or had only benefited the employer and his business, not the employee personally. Now, if the employee goes to another, similar kind of business, how do he use this training that he gained from you as an accomplishment?
As an asset. As a learning, yes.
Yes. So for this, there is no answer, and hence who loses? The employer loses. At this time, what happens? He gets penalized, or he gets to give the compensation to an employer, to an employee, whereby the employee was not the one who initiated the dispute.
Correct.
So this is where entrepreneurs with great skills and mindset fails to expand their business, and because of such an incident, they won't be in a position to start a new business again because their confidence level drops down. So here, when Milyana comes in, we ensure that the clauses mentioned are in tally or in with
In alliance with.
in alliance with the regulations.
Yes.
Now, not only this, this is as mentioned, because we are practicing from Al Nasser Advocates. Our background are law. We are lawyers, and because our entire team consists of lawyers itself, we ensure that the advices and the clauses mentioned are from the legal background itself, so that the business owners can be in a relaxed manner moving forward with the entire business.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, to be honest, I did not know such nitty-gritties.
Okay.
And this whole thing about, employers taking employees to the court and so on, and the training fee clause thing. Because I think it is, you rightly said that unless you know your stuff, you end up getting penalized for something you didn't deserve.
Exactly.
So I think maintaining parity is very important. Now let's come to the next one. Imagine I'm starting a business within the next 6 months. What are some of the structural things you would advise me to be aware of, or I should ensure I incorporate in my business before I start, so I ensure I don't run into unnecessary troubles?
Okay. Now, in order to provide clarity, when you mention that you start the business, it's not that you are gonna get the license. Once you get the license, in order for the moment you start the sale or conversion of leads, that's when you start the business. So until then, you have something named as a probationary time to set up or fix everything what you need to do within the business. Some may take over 1 year, some may take 1 week. It depends on entrepreneurs and how they get the stuff sorted out. So the main concerns which you have to focus within the first 6 months are that the corporate governance part are perfect, meaning the activities mentioned in your license and the activity you are going to do with your business are in par and in relation with the same activity that you took off, that you are engaged with. The second thing would be the structure of the business. Now, this structure should be the foundation, the constitution of the business itself. This has to be a public document among the members of the business. Why? So that your vision, your idea, the goal which you have with the company or with the business is available for the employees to see that, okay, this is the idea, we have to reach there, so that your goals are aligned.
Correct.
Now comes the documentation part. Ensure the offer letter, labor contract, NDAs, everything is mentioned, drafted with clauses that benefits the company as well as the employees, so that there are no bad blood between the employer and the employees. The final and the most important thing would be to produce a document named as employee handbook, which states all the regulations within the company. If the law says otherwise and you say, but this is the company policy holds a ground. So you should have the employee handbook mentioning the policy of the company, the regulations they have to follow, the structure your entire team will be working with, whom to report, etc., and the instructions of the employee to be followed during the tenure in the company, and the company policy. This company policy has to be updated every 6 months because the law gets amended accordingly. So this will ensure that the foundation of your business is perfect. Once this is done, you can focus solely on marketing. Start the sales. Once you flourish, your foundation also grows along with the sales. This will help you reach the destination where you want to go without facing any more legal risk or disputes in the future.
Correct. No, I think that's gold dust.
Yeah.
Because I think you have stated on everything that needs to be done, which is often ignored. So I mean, that's amazing. Now I want to know, Milyana offers services on retainerships. Okay, so it's not like a one-off fees that you're charging, in bulk and so. Why do you think retainers work better for clients?
The main reason being, say, as mentioned earlier in the podcast, most consultancies, they only focus on a particular niche. That is either an HR advisory body, or industrial advisory body, or they focus on the corporate governance or VAT and taxation or the legal coordination part. In Milyana, we do everything together. Why? Because we have the background and the capacity to do those tasks. Now, if the business owners were to appoint or hire any of the company for a particular task, this would cost them a huge lump sum amount of money from their capital budget. In order to ensure that we do not become a burden on the businesses or the companies, we have come forth with the retainer packages starting from 500 all the way to 2500. Now, the difference is that each business does not require our entire service for nothing. We do not want them to spend even 1 dirham for a service that we are not going to provide them with. This is why the breakdown of the packages, and let them focus or let them choose what they actually require. If it's only the advisory body that they require, let them, we tailor make the package accordingly to them. If they require the entire thing to be covered, then we take care of their entire business. It's up to them. Let them take care of their budget and not focus on and or not see us as an overhead that they have to pay for every month. Now,
Correct.
why it is an annual retainer, why it is to be done on a monthly basis? Because amendments are to be made, or amendments to the clauses, to the agreements, documents, the corporate part, it is to be made every now and then, because the laws are changing, the mindset of people are changing, the type of or the kind of disputes are changing on a daily basis. This is the reason we are amending, the government are amending the laws too. Why? Because the situations that we have today are not the situations we expected to be there tomorrow. Like, it is entirely new because of all the changes in the advanced technology and the kind of businesses people get into. We have to ensure that the documents are in compliance with that. For example, earlier we used to have barter system, and then money as in paper notes were introduced, and then online transactions were introduced. Now we have something named as crypto. We don't even have it. It's
Correct.
all in the cloud. So hence it keeps changing every now and then. So should the businesses. If not, we'll be stuck behind, just like some failed businesses who were once a big shot.
Correct.
If you want, I can name some examples like Nokia or BlackBerry. So
They did evolve with time, yes.
yes. So in order to ensure that the businesses are in compliant every point of time, we advise them to have a retainer package with us, at the same time not burdening them with the name of cost, so that they need not worry about being evolving or being advancing with the advancing of time.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Rihan, in conclusion to my podcast, I have my final question. What is the vision that you have for Milyana Group, say 5 years from now?
Okay. The vision for the Milyana Group is that we become a one-stop store, so that anybody who comes in with any particular point of dispute, we are there to take care of them. Anybody who walks in without any dispute, we are there to advise them on what to do next. Anybody who has an idea, we help them set up or bring that idea to life. We want to be the only organization in the entire country which provides them with a 360-degree workforce, 360-degree ideas, 360-degree everything, covering from litigation until the basic documentation part, so that they do not have to think about going to anyone else. Everything is covered from here. Because everything is covered from one particular channel, they will get the updates or the transparency or ease of communication and access, because they are able to get in direct touch. It's not like it's three different groups or three different companies, and then once one person is on leave, it will be difficult to figure out why the person is on leave. Now, because the main reason being, everything is linked towards each other. If the auditing or the accounts part is not strong, the company falls. If the documentation is not strong, company falls. If the legal coordination is not strong, the company falls. It's the pillars of business that needs to be aligned and together. This must not be given or engaged with different companies for different category of the requirements. It should be under one umbrella itself, and hence Milyana comes in, and this is the vision which we have, so that everybody feels the right. Everybody understands that if they come and visit us, we will let them know what next to do. They need not go to a third person or a third company to get their requirements fulfilled.
Very nice,
Yeah.
very nice. Well, thank you so much, Rihan, for such an amazing podcast. Your vision to build Milyana and actually give people a one stop shop for everything they need, the nitty gritties that you've talked about, reasons why businesses fail, the evolution of businesses. I think you're definitely on the right track, and people are definitely going to be benefiting from the services of Milyana. I think what you're doing is commendable. So
you.
for everyone who's watching us, please get in touch with Rihan and his team at the Milyana Group. They can definitely advise you on what best can your business do and how can you grow leaps and bounds with them by securing yourselves in terms of compliance, in terms of labor laws, and so on. Until next time, be happy, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.